coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, the Lombardi Leap, here with Mersey FB. And we're actually talking Packers football, which I haven't said that in a little bit. I mean, we kind of indirectly talked about Packers football just with Senior Bowl stuff. We thought about talking about the offensive Senior Bowl players, but let's be real. We know that we're going to be drafting defense, and we kind of hit a lot more offensive guys when it came to the Shrine Bowl, and there's some bit of a crossover there. And the biggest showing at the Senior Bowl this year was what? The wide receivers? I'm pretty sure that was all the hype.
The wide receivers played a large part of it. Additionally, there were like 3 or 4 guys on offensive line specifically who did well, and so we do a show about like 2 receivers who we would have draft, and then like 5 to 10 offensive linemen, and we just didn't really want to do that. We still
when you
might,
get into offensive linemen,
like we might talk about offensive linemen specifically, but
I think that's more of a combine thing, especially here moving forward. And like when you get into offensive linemen, it kind of becomes a little repetitive.
So technical and really repetitive. Well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely more of a combine conversation. As we kind of get closer to that, or as that kind of happens here, we'll be able to take a look at, I am looking forward to when we get more interviews here moving forward too as well. But we're going to do our first mock draft mayhem here, actually. I know it's normally mock draft Monday, but I couldn't think of a cool slogan.
Yeah, mock draft mayhem sounds better, because I can tell you at least my mock draft, it has mayhem in it.
Because you did trades,
I did
right?
trades.
You did trades. So he did some trades here. I didn't this time, because last year they didn't. And I thought, you know what? What a better way to start it with my mock draft 1.0. No trades. And you kind of went,
yeah,
hey, I need more picks.
Yeah. I said, hey, I would like some more picks. But so you would say yours is a little more what you think they would do?
Mine is, definitely a lot more like what I think they would do. Kind of. I think that mine is more just straight. If these players are there on the board when they're picking, I think that they'd have to be persuaded pretty heavily to trade back.
Oh, okay. So mine was more of what I would do if I was the general manager of this team and like omnipotently in charge of the Green Bay Packers. So,
hey man, if I did that, I'd have drafted so many good players.
I know.
We'd be in the Hall of Fame at this point.
Yeah. We'd be like John Schneider once he wraps his career up.
Oh, dude, for real. And congrats on the Seattle Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. I hate you a little less now that Pete Carroll isn't there anymore. But back to the Packers here. Taking a look at what picks they actually do have and kind of highlighting some needs here. They obviously do not have a round 1 pick. We traded that to Dallas for Micah Parsons. Would do that again any day of the week and twice on Sunday. As of right now, we are projected to get in round 2, 52. Round 3, pick 84.
The draft order is set.
4,
there's no predicted anymore.
Is it? Oh, it is not projected. Okay, I take that back. That is right, because the Super Bowl is over. It is set. So pick 52 in round 2, pick 84 in round 3, pick 120 in round 4, pick 158 in round 5, pick 199 in round 6, and then they get 2 comp picks in the 7th round. So they have 3 7th round picks at 236, 254, and
57.
Pick
Mr. Irrelevant.
257. Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah. So I'm kind of looking forward to that here. Kind of going into the draft, and we've talked about this a couple times, but just to kind of rehash it a little bit. The top two needs, I think you and I are both in agreement on this, are defensive tackle and cornerback. And then center would probably be like the third, if you want to talk about that stuff. And then obviously like offensive line, it's always good to draft offensive linemen. That's more of a depth issue than it is. Linebacker still kind of a question mark here. I think with also Kenneth Walker winning the MVP of the Super Bowl too. I don't think running back. I don't think they're going to be drafting a running back here. I think that Josh Jacobs is going to be the guy, and they're going to give Marshawn Lloyd a chance here. But running back could be another kind of sneaky need as well, and then definitely tight end.
You mentioned linebacker there, right?
I did sneak in linebacker.
Great.
Yes,
just so we're on the same page.
Yeah, because Quay Walker, you just don't know.
I'm firmly of the belief that Quay is not on this team.
Because what pick number was he? Like
22 22.
22s? I thought he was a little bit higher, but yeah.
Wait, was it Quay first and then Devontae Wyatt, or was it Devontae Wyatt and then Quay?
I thought Quay was first.
So he would have been 22, and then they took Devontae Wyatt at 28.
Yeah, yep, Quay Walker, first round, 2020, second overall pick. Yeah, so linebacker. They probably are going to need a linebacker, to be honest. But let's get into it. I didn't trade up in the second round. Did you at all? Like I said, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think we should go round by round here, just per mock draft. I will start with I traded back in the second round.
Okay, I stayed where I was at. So, but I'll let you. I'll go first here since my pick is technically first. Round 2, pick 52. I love this player out of Florida State. You already know who he is, Darrell Jackson Jr. I think there's a lot of upside there. I think that how he performed at the Shrine Bowl, what I saw from him at the Senior Bowl, and kind of based on how I think he's going to test at the Combine, I have him realistically graded as a late second, early third round pick. That's where I'm at with him. And I think if he's there, I think the Packers have a very hard time waiting to see if he'll fall even further. And I don't really think he's going to fall because we saw a couple years ago with Tavondre Sweat. Packers really liked him, really liked Tavondre Sweat. They talked to Tennessee about potentially trading from at the deadline. I think they don't wait this year. They don't trade back, even though you're going to trade back here. I think they go Darrell Jackson Jr. I know PFF gave me a D-. I don't give a rip, PFF. Update your stuff. I think that's an A-plus pick. Slots right in next to Devontae Wyatt. Eats double teams. Got that massive wingspan. I think he's been playing stronger. I love everything about Darrell Jackson Jr., and I would love him even more. I'd probably get his jersey because I missed it on BJ Raji's.
Yeah, I would agree with most of that. I think he plays with good power through his hands, and he reads blocks. He can stack and shed. I also took him not in this second round slot, but we'll talk about him now.
Got him a little later. Yeah, who'd you trade for? Tell me what you did.
In the second round, I traded round 2, pick 52 for a second round pick 54, and round 4, 136.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. You get another fourth round pick. That's solid.
And at round 2, pick 54, I picked Chris Johnson, cornerback, San Diego State.
I can't be mad.
Can't be mad about this. In 2025, he had a 92.4 coverage grade, a 91.9 zone coverage grade, and a 74.0 man coverage grade. Allowed a completion percentage of 41.9%. So when he was thrown at, less than half of the time he allowed a completion, which would make him the best Packers cornerback already.
Not hard. All things considered.
He also had 4 interceptions. And I think with the scheme Gannon wants to run more of like a zone defense, Chris Johnson has the elite zone instincts and can really benefit from being in a scheme like that. Yes, people say, oh, he might be a little like athletically limited. I sent you something where it said he reached over 20 miles an hour during the Senior Bowl practices. Additionally, if you're in zone coverage, you're hiding the athleticism a little more than you would be if you're in strict man-to-man.
Yes, yeah. And I like that long speed. They thought, I don't know why people thought the long speed was a concern. Like on tape, like I felt like the long speed was there from a technical standpoint too as well. So I'm really impressed with him. I think that's an excellent pick. And that's a pick I think that starts right away, which is kind of it's really an interesting scenario. I
would
do they keep Nate Hobbs? Do they keep Keyshawn Nixon?
I would like to also point out that Chris Johnson's highest graded game, according to PFF, came against Cal, and Cal had an elite quarterback this year. So
who was their quarterback?
Jason Kawai-Sipagwale. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Way better than what I did. He's a projected first next year, isn't he?
He's a projected first in 2028. He's a true freshman.
2028. That's right. That's what it is. Oh yeah. Okay.
Quarterback, but
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you got another fourth here. I can respect it. I can't be mad. When did you pick next? Did you pick it? Did you stay in round 3 then?
So I did stay in round 3, but I made a move in round 3.
Okay.
I traded our third round pick 84, and Rashawn Gary to the Jacksonville Jaguars in exchange for pick 81 and 88.
Okay. Wow. Man, I would love that. I'll let you get your two guys out of the way since I went first in the second round. So who'd you pick?
At pick 81 in round 3, I drafted Darrell Jackson Jr., who we already talked about and we've talked about before. And at pick 88, I drafted linebacker by way of Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez.
Jacob Rodriguez. I figured he has definitely grown on both of us.
Oh, definitely.
And if you would have listened to our last episode, you'd know that.
and the episode before that about Darrell Jackson Jr. too. Yeah, with Jacob Rodriguez, the tape is the tape. Incredible instincts, willing tackler. He can get off blocks well at his frame, even though he's slightly smaller at, I think he's 6'1", 235. Yeah, 6'1", 235. His average depth of run tackle is 2.8 yards past the line of scrimmage, one of the lowest for this draft class. His pass rush grade's a little lower, but because he's undersized, he won't really be used as a blitzer all that much. And you have Edgerrin Cooper on the roster for this exact role to be like the blitzer and kind of have a record. Jacob Rodriguez can just really you can have him be the middle linebacker day one and just say, go make plays. And his instincts will pop off the charts. Yes, the foot speed might be a little limited. You'll see him rise up boards well after he tests well at the combine. I don't think that the athleticism is as big of an issue as it is after seeing what he was able to do at the Senior Bowl. I also think he can come in and be the Mike right away.
Yeah, I mean, you know the IQ's there, and so he can pick up on anything 100%. Man, that is a great pick. And so you traded Rashawn Gary there. I'm sure nobody's going to be upset about that. Let's be real.
Probably not.
I too actually did. I went corner.
Okay.
So you went corner with your second round. I went corner with my third round pick. And let me explain my reasoning here. Okay. Let's say I think Rob Demoski was being interviewed, I think, for ESPN Milwaukee, and he said there's a chance. Basically, he distinctly mentioned that Nate Hobbs isn't going to be on the roster.
Whoa.
Which is kind of an interesting thing to say. That's
of
what
all
he
the
said.
corners I'd cut, he wouldn't be the one.
Yeah. I mean, you're only... Yeah. That'd be interesting to see. I don't know how... like I said, I don't know if he's reporting on it or what. I don't know. Obviously, a new defensive coordinator, it's a whole new thing. My mindset is this. Let's say that the Packers keep Nate Hobbs and they keep Keyshawn Nixon. Are they gonna then pick a corner in round 2? I would I would say no. And so that means I could definitely see them picking one in round 3, a guy who can come in, doesn't have to start. You can, if one of Nate Hobbs or I think Keyshawn Nixon's a free agent at the end of the season, right? I think in 2020, at the end of 2026. So you can kind of get a guy in the wings who can play if needed, as well as has the opportunity to start next year. Because, that's kind of how the Packers like to think every now and again, or a lot of times. I went Davidson Igbinosun, cornerback, Ohio State. We've talked about him. He had a great Senior Bowl. I think he's shown a lot of improved technical refinement, which is kind of surprising because, he was the least handsy cornerback at the Senior Bowl, when the last 2 years, I'd say he's been a fairly handsy individual as a cornerback. I was worried about him, but seeing what has happened at the Senior Bowl really, really impressed me.
He was one of the best corners there for sure.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely more of a press man corner, but I do think the intelligence and technique is there for zone. And he's just a long, rangy corner, which is something you don't have in Keyshawn Nixon. You kind of have it in Nate Hobbs, but you don't know if he can necessarily play outside. I think you bring in Davidson here, and he, at the very least, he can rotate in if need be. Not too much pressure. I love our new secondary coaches that they brought in. I think that's excellent. I think that's going to be great for our cornerback room, especially here. And Davidson comes in and just immediately improves the CB room and gives you the depth that you don't have with Carrington Valentine. I like the fact that he is a willing tackler, and at 6'2", has some weight to him too. I like where he's going there.
I can get behind it.
Round 4 is where things get a little tricky here.
I'll let you go first.
Round 4, where do you think I went? See if you can guess.
Offensive line or running back?
Offensive line. I did go offensive line.
Do we have the same pick?
I wonder if we do. I took a
I
center.
did not take a center.
Okay, I took a center. I took Logan Jones, center out of Iowa, who I honestly believe, after watching some more film, man, I think Logan Jones might be the best center in the draft. And I'm not just saying
That's crazy because you're really high on your boy Brian Parker Jr.
I am very high on Brian Parker Jr. I'd say it's close. Like I will say this, it's close, but Logan Jones, he is so much more technically refined, like 100%. And there's a big difference, like in that. And I think that's so instrumental in him just coming in and being able to play right away. Like Brian Parker Jr., love him to death. I don't think he'd have much issue. There would still be a learning curve there. But with Logan Jones, I mean, where do I even begin with this guy? He's 6'3", just over like around 310 pounds. They rave about his IQ. He is a fast processor. He's rarely out of position. And I think one of the things that this offensive line did suffer from was the fact that, Sean Ryan, I didn't think was the greatest communicator. I didn't think he did a great job at identifying blitzes cleanly, and that led to breakdowns. And I think that hurt Banks. And as much as I diss on Rasheed Walker, I do believe it hurt him as well. I kind of get a Tyler
Linderbaum
Battersea.
Oh wait, what?
He was the center for the Commanders for the longest time. BDAS, yes, thank you. I have to mess up somebody's name at least once an episode. Or kind of like my secondary comp too, if I want to get a little dated here, I should say. The former Ohio State center from I think it was 2012 to 2016 he played. It was Pat Elflein as well. Okay. And he had a solid career in the league. Played solid. But I think that he's kind of built like them, but he's a lot more technically refined. He wins with technique. And that I think is so much more bigger. Like you have Jacob Monk on the roster who needs better technique. Logan Jones can just come right in, boom. He's popping people off right away. And it'd be a domino effect on your offensive line here. Plug and play right away. Your offensive line goes from, okay, I don't know really what we're going to do here, to now you have Jordan Morgan, Aaron Banks, Logan Jones, Anthony Belton, Zach Tom. I think top 5 right there. I think that ends up being a top 5 O-line.
I think I'm a little lower on him just based off of the size specifically.
6'3", 300 pounds. I don't mind.
Yeah. Oh,
you did pick.
I did pick an offensive lineman. I did take a center later, and we'll get to who I took in the center. I have 2 4th-round picks because of my trade I made in the 2nd round. The first so pick 120 here in the 4th round. I took J.C. Davis, tackle out of Illinois.
I do like that pick.
86.7 run block grade, 77.4 pass block grade, 76.5 true pass set grade. So good offensive lineman. I think he is quick first step, understands how to use his base and not get outside of it. This weekend, you saw an offensive lineman struggle when he got outside of his base. I won't say who, but I think we all saw it. The whole nation saw it.
Yes, we did.
He's not. Technical refinement is always there. I don't think J.C. Davis would have to come in and start right away. So he'd be your swing tackle. I think he could play guard if someone goes down. What are your thoughts?
I think it's important. You need that swing tackle there, and I like J.C. Davis out of. Like I said, I liked Illinois. I mostly watched them when I did watch them for their defense, but J.C. Davis was a guy who did stick out to me. Defensive on the offensive line side of the things. I definitely think he's your immediate swing tackle, and he does. And if he's okay at it, then you can still transition him to guard, similar to what they did with Travis Glover. Travis Glover played swing tackle and then transitioned to guard, and he looked really good at it. So I think that's another reason why I don't ever see the Packers taking a guard in the NFL draft ever. Unless it's a center.
My second pick was Hezekiah Masses, cornerback, California.
I've heard good things.
He did well at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion. I actually have to pull up his splits and grades right now, actually. So first off, 6'1", 185. Also a senior. So he's a bigger corner. 81.2 coverage grade, a 90 zone coverage grade. 5 interceptions and 4 touchdowns. Allowed a passer rating of 58.1.
Whatsoever.
And his best game was against Louisville and Miller Moss. So
it's a solid corner right there. I've heard about him a couple times. I haven't looked into him as much as I probably should have. Like, I see him cross my board, and I'm like, should I look into him more? I don't know.
Well, you liked the Cal guy last year, right?
Yes, I did.
That went to the Chiefs, I think.
Noel Williams. Yeah, yes, he did. I did like him last year. Yeah, that Hezekiah Massey had a good year. I'm glad to hear that. Like, I'll have to look at him.
What did you do here in the 5th?
The 5th. All right. The 5th is where I finally take my linebacker.
Oh, can I guess?
Bryce. Oh, a spoiler. Bryce Buttigieg.
I would have guessed wrong. I would have thought you would have went Aiden Fisher.
I thought about it. I did think about it. But then I also thought about the fact that they did spend some time at Oregon. And I do like Bryce. I like and here's why I like Bryce. Okay. He's a little smaller. He's around 6'2", 230 pounds. He did win the Bull. He's a Bull Rush Trophy winner. Like, the reason is I like Bryce is just because of this is a guy who's had to grind to get where he's at, and he's not a quitter. He was a walk-on term team leader, top tackler, Bull Rush Trophy winner.
He hits hard too.
He does hit hard, and like he is just like you could kind of consider him like a budget Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah,
I think that they both have extremely great instincts and awareness. Just being able to diagnose plays.
Betcher hits harder than Rodriguez for sure.
I like his pop, man. I love his top. I love his pop. I love his ability to just fill gaps. Like, there's a lot to like there. What obviously is a con is like there isn't the elite athleticism, like the straight line speed, where Jacob Rodriguez kind of showed at the Senior Bowl, right? That, whoa, okay, that's straight line speed. Jacob Rodriguez, where'd that come from? Kind of a thing. Bryce does not have that. Like, he can get, like, when you're dealing with more of those like what you call inline tight ends, right? Like, you can get beat a couple times there. And on some of the faster running backs. But I think that with his IQ, very similar to Jacob Rodriguez, I think that he can diagnose and figure, okay, I know where he's going. And that masks his athleticism. Like, when you get these good football players, these guys who can just play football, the athleticism, while important, can be masked a little bit better too. And with the way Jonathan Gannon likes to use his linebackers, I think either like Jacob Rodriguez or Bryce here are going to be two ideal guys that he's going to look at and be like, yeah, I need one of those.
Yeah.
I need one of those. Another thing too I look at for the Packers, why I think he's a specific Packers fit, is the Packers like these players who are multi-sport athletes.
I was just about to say that.
Did you know he was a Golden Glove winner?
Yeah, he got drafted by the Oakland A's, I thought, too, in the MLB draft.
Yeah, former MLB draft, yeah.
Like, he could go play baseball if he wanted to, but he chose football.
He could pull a Russell Wilson. I don't know. Like, I really like him. I kind of get like a Brian Esmoa II vibe from him.
Okay.
A little bit. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at with him. I think that if you can get a guy who's extremely smart and then with a little bit of upside here, like maybe not completely athletically limiting, but just enough of a burst, and just like I said, just having somebody who's so smart there is going to do a lot. Is going to help. I think Edrin Cooper especially.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He also, while at Oregon, founded the CCU with his teammate Dylan Thieneman, and the CCU stands for Caucasian Collision Unit. They have shirts for it, apparently.
That's awesome.
The man lives and breathes football. So
that is awesome. That is actually, that's pretty legit here. Now we are on to what
6.
round?
Oh wait, no, wait. I didn't say my 5. I didn't say my 5.
Oh yeah, you're 5. Who's your 5?
So I stuck and took someone in the 5th round. I took a center, Pat Coogan, Indiana.
Held a round 5.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Well, when you
Interesting.
think of a reason why he could fall is because I don't think he's necessarily the best athlete at the center position.
Well, you had said like I think in like a previous episode too that he doesn't really get to the second level all too well.
He can and will, but it's just my thing was more on like pulling. If you're having him pull to make a block, he's not going to do it.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
If he's going to the second level and the linebacker comes to him, he'll make the block. But if he's trying to find a linebacker in space, it might not work. But his football IQ is there, calling out blocks and setting the protections. I think it was great. His anchor is good against bull rushes. He's a good pass protector. He transferred from Notre Dame too, I believe.
I thought, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like Notre Dame.
Anyway, he's 6'5", 311 pounds. Played 1,000 offensive snaps, all 16 games. Didn't allow a single sack or hit. Only 10 hurries. Pass block.
I mean, that offensive line was good.
Yeah. Had good pieces. Pass block grade of 84.0. So it's definitely the gap grade where his play kind of starts to drop a little bit, but these things can be masked by scheme. He handled a 3-game stretch of Alabama, Oregon, and Miami very well.
That is true. Like he did, he was a dog in the playoffs, especially. Like absolutely played well there.
Because that's going up against Tim Keenan in Alabama, Bear Alexander, and Amari Washington, who are elite defensive tackles. I think both of which went back to school. And then Ahmad Moten at Miami.
Ahmad Moten too went back to school.
He's one of the guys that whatever you throw at him, he can handle. I just think there are limitations to his game.
Brick wall. And now let's go into round 6. Did you stay or did you go?
I stayed.
Me too. But what else is new? But I'll let you go. Who'd you get?
I went back to Indiana and I picked Roman Hemby, running back.
I like that pick. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think he's the better of the 2 running backs from Indiana. He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot even, 210 pounds. He is a little bit of an older prospect. He's 23, redshirt senior.
A little zip to him too, doesn't he?
14 carries of 15 plus yards, 773 yards after contact, 37 missed tackles forced.
Oh my goodness. Did you just draft Josh Jacobs 2.0?
Yeah, it was kind of the goal. Yeah, and in 2025 he had 1,118 yards, and 3/4 of those came after being hit almost. So
that's not bad.
He also had 17 receptions on 18 targets.
Legitimately sounds like you drafted Josh Jacobs 2.0.
And in the 6th
Josh
round,
Jacobs is kind of is underrated.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. Like that's great. And I mean, there's a lot to love on the Indiana offense and defense, so it's kind of hard not to pick guys from there, even though, spoiler alert, I didn't pick anybody from Indiana, surprisingly. I did pick somebody from Nebraska, though.
Oh, I know who this is.
Because, I had been watching more stuff recently, too, and I updated my pro comp for this guy. Sear Wright had a great Shrine Bowl. Went in, got invited to the Senior Bowl. I updated my NFL comp for him, and I'll give you a hint. The Packers had briefly talked about trading for him in the trade deadline. They reached out to this AFC team for a corner.
Okay.
And it is Sear Wright, and I comp him to a little bit DJ Turner-esque. I think that he has the ability to be that I think that's like his ceiling. Like realistically, I definitely think he can come in and be DJ Turner. He proved that he has the closing speed. He proved that he can play inside. He can play outside. He does very well at just reading the receiver's routes and anticipating the throws. He can cover a lot of ground in a hurry, which I think is another guy who we need. The fact that he can play inside and outside, the Packers love that. To have a versatile guy like that. He's a decent sized cornerback too, still at 6 foot, 190 pounds. I believe he was clocked at a 4.35.
Quick.
Yeah. Yes. So he definitely has some speed there. I think this could be one of the late round corners that ends up being better than a lot of guys drafted higher. That's my bold prediction right now. I think one of the areas I will say, he's an average tackler.
Yeah.
He's an average
a lot
tackler.
of corners tend to be.
He's not as bad as Carrington Valentine. I will say that. He's not as bad as Carrington Valentine. But I think his tackling is more functional related and him needing to put on strength because like he can get out muscled in run support. Not as bad as Carrington Valentine because there's some better mass there. But I think that getting Sear right in like an NFL weight room, that's going to absolutely propel his ability to be a starting corner. And I think at the very least be a really, really good number 2. But I think he has potential to be a CB1 moving forward if he kind of puts on some more functional strength here and just cleans up the tackling a bit, especially.
Okay. Now, what did you do in the 7th?
Finally took a tight end first.
That is one position I did not address.
I don't think you know what tight end because I'm going to kind of shock you here.
Felling?
I went with RJ Maryland.
I was looking at him.
Tight end at SMU. I believe the Packers did interview him, and it's actually important to note his dad played for the Packers in 2000.
Wow, okay.
His dad was a nose tackle. He replaced the late, he's still alive as far as I know, the great Gilbert Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. So his dad's name's Russell Maryland, played nose tackle for us for a year. Played for Dallas, won 3 Super Bowls, which is kind of crazy. But his son, tight end, RJ Maryland, going to give you some stats here. He had kind of a down year at SMU. 27 receptions, 322 yards, 11.9 receptions, 2 touchdowns. His long was 49. Packers like to take guys who maybe had like a little bit of a down year at one point and then came back and then see. They don't care if he had a down year in like in this instance 2025. 2024, 24 receptions, 359 yards, but he averaged 15 yards a catch. 4 touchdowns. 2023 was kind of his biggest year. 34 receptions, 518 yards, 15.2 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns. He had a long, 62 was his long. Definitely more. I know people might not like this. I mean, I like his size. He's 6'4", around like 240, I believe. Not necessarily like a known blocker, but I think he's more teachable than like Luke Musgrave, like I do. And at the very least, you need some tight end. You need some tight end depth. And I think he'd be fun to use on like special teams because like I do like his speed there. Just with him being a little bit more of that kind of inline-esque tight end here. He's not, like I said, he's not the flashiest prospect, but I do think he's reliable. I do think he has some of the speed there that you can use him at the very least on special teams because the Packers like to do that. And with Tucker Kraft, you know that he should be back, but to what degree do they want him back? He needs some depth there, and that's why I went RJ Maryland.
All right.
And we can alternate here.
You sure?
Because, we got 3 7th-round picks. Yeah. we got 3 7th-round picks to go through.
My first 7th-round pick, I took one of my favorite players in the draft. This might give you a clue. Defensive lineman from Navy, Landon Robinson.
Oh, he was there for me, too. I almost took him. Took him for you.
Just freak athlete. A little bit on the shorter side, but that's fine. I genuinely think this guy is like the next Poona Ford. We've talked about him. I'll just say go back and listen to like the Shrine Bowl defense episode where we talk about him in depth. Just to kind of save some time here.
I did watch some highlights of him, and he is pretty fun to watch.
His highlights very fun?
Yes, yes, they absolutely.
I mean, like the level of competition isn't like great because he played at Navy, but let's pull up.
It's still pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a couple bad games against North Texas and USF and like Cincinnati, but those were the best programs he played all year. Did well against Tulsa, Air Force, Navy. He even did well against Notre Dame, but like 84.7 pass rush grade, 10.2% pass rush win rate, run stop rate of 7.7%. So 8 sacks, 4 hits, 22 hurries, 1 batted pass.
For a dude his size, like he gets his hand up. Like that's pretty crazy there. And then for my next 7th round pick, I finally went to offensive line. I felt like this was kind of an appropriate time. And it is a guy who I think really fits what the Packers like in tackles, even though he might have to transition to guard in the NFL.
Okay.
And that is Tristan Lay, offensive tackle, Clemson. The Packers spent a lot of time at Clemson this year, and they did interview Tristan Lay.
Okay.
Not the most, I would say, fluid athlete, but kind of reminds me of like Julian Pearl, offensive tackle out of Illinois from I think it was last year or 2 years ago. I mean, he has the size. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. Like I said, a lot of people might say he's a little bit light. The frame's there. He does need some refinement. The pass protection isn't the greatest. He just tries to be athletic and win that way. And then, like when he's blocking too, he just tends to lean into blocks a little bit too much. I think at the very least, you got yourself a swing tackle here, who could be potentially the higher upside Rasheed Walker. And what I mean by that is he's a guy that you draft, can play. Oh, he can actually play here. Oh, look at that. But he is more athletic than Rasheed Walker. Because like Rasheed Walker couldn't handle speed rushers. I think Tristan Lay can actually handle the speed rushers. The biggest thing is that it's a lot more of untapped potential here, because he only, I think, started like 11 games in his career at Clemson. But there's just a lot more to work with. And we have questions about Butkus. I don't know how long he's going to be here for. You and I are kind of holding off on that coaching episode, kind of waiting to see if the sky falls, but who knows? I think that this is a guy who can come in, give you reps right away if need be, in like an emergency notice. But at the very least, you got a guy in the wings, developmental guy that I think that this guy just screams Packer.
Yeah. I think you're higher on him than me, and you've definitely looked more into him. So I'll add him to my list to watch. I just think Clemson had like a down year all around. So
that is true. But again, like it's one of those things we're going like, why would you spend 4 games at Clemson?
That's true.
It's like the Michigan State thing. Why are you sending scouts to 4 Michigan State games? When they were not a good football team this past year. But who's your second, 7th round pick?
So at pick 254, I took Kyron Drones, quarterback, Virginia Tech. Looking back on it, I think I would actually change this pick.
Okay.
But
you're locked in
I am
now.
Locked in. If I was going to change it,
you did go quarterback.
I would change it to Kayron Crawford, the edge rusher from Auburn. But I'll talk.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'll talk about Kyron Drones real quick. I think his accuracy can definitely improve, but I think you just do that through like teaching proper mechanics. LaFleur can be one of the guys who can do that really well. He just kind of needs to get his base aligned with his upper body, and then I think he would be a great passer. He definitely tries to extend plays with his legs, which I like. Yeah, the main issue is accuracy. I mean, he's a little limited by his size. He's only 6'1", so
yeah. That's all. Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they go quarterback. I don't think they should, just because. But I'm also higher on backups right now, Ritter and McCord. Right, Kyle McCord. I think those are perfectly serviceable, smart guys. And last but not least, Mr. Irrelevant, because we have the Mr. Irrelevant pick this year.
I do.
Who is your Mr. Irrelevant?
So at pick 257, I took wide receiver Colby Young from Georgia.
You just had to sneak a dog in there, didn't you?
Well, yes. But also I think this is like the perfect Romeo Dobbs replacement. And he could give you some special team value as a gunner.
Oh, hopefully they don't stick him on punt return or kick returns.
Like prior to... So he broke his leg in October. Or was it September?
Oh, that's right.
I
know he broke his leg, but I can't remember when.
Yeah, he broke his leg week 8 against Ole Miss. Returned in the bowl game against Ole Miss. And you saw, like, he returned to form. He's kind of the guy, like, contested catch, wide receiver, catches 66% of his contested catch opportunities. I would only use him in the boundary. He's also really good after the catch. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, averages 6.4 yards after catch per, like, a reception.
That's not Romeo Dobbs at all.
Yeah, he's just... You can get the ball in his hands, and then he'll break off a tackle or two and get the extra yardage. And he has that like Georgia mentality, having been in the program for 2 years.
100%. You do like that though. I mean, sneaking a wide receiver in there.
I don't think we'll draft one, but if
can't-
we do, it should be him.
I mean, we didn't talk about those wide receivers, and here you go off and draft one just so you could talk about one.
Yeah.
My Mr. Irrelevant is a guy who I have it on good authority. The Packers organization does really like.
Okay.
That's why I picked him. Mr. Irrelevant, 257. Brandon Cleveland, defensive tackle,
okay.
North Carolina. Just kind of a little bit of a PFF did do a little bit of write-up on him, actually, which is kind of surprising. He's a big dude. He wears 320 pounds, wears it well, does have a low missed tackle rate in his career, very strong point of attack. Like, this dude can take on doubles. Another thing that's kind of underrated about his game is that he kind of has a good feel for where the ball's going to go.
Okay.
Like, so you do see the IQ there. And then I think that one of the things that the Packers are going to like about him is he's a kind of dude who you don't have to go tell him to do your job, because he's going to do his job, and that's be a nose tackle. He's going to go in there, he's going to do his job, and because he's doing his job, he's going to help everybody else to do their job. Like, he is just the kind of guy that gets down, does the nitty gritty, does the little things so the other guys can do the big things. And that's why I think that Brandon Cleveland would be like your perfect nose tackle here moving forward, because you already have Warren Brinson, you have Colby Wooden, who you and I both don't like. I couldn't care if he got
drafted Darrell Jackson Jr. too, or we both did.
And you also have Carl Brooks. Mm-hmm. So I think you have these more pass rush esque defensive tackles. You have no true nose tackles outside of Nazir Stackhouse and maybe Colby Wooden. Maybe.
That's a stretch.
So
Colby.
I think I know exactly. So taking Darrell Jackson Jr. and Brandon Cleveland, like, that beefs up your defensive line so much more than what it was this past year. He's definitely not a pass rusher. Like, it's never been above 6% since 2025. Yeah. So definitely not not really explosive. There's not really that much, not good a speed to power there, but like, it's he's an immovable object kind of a player. But I really like him, and like, from what my understanding of it is, the Packers really like this guy too. Like, I could see them either taking him in the 7th as like a priority UDFA, or like they view him as a priority UDFA, but they're just like, you know what? Let's just spend a 7th round pick on him to get him in the room, so that way we're not bidding for him. So that's my Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay.
And I kind of like what we did here today. You know, this is our first mock draft of the season. We have, hopefully, I think next episode we got to talk about some coaches, right? Because there's been some coaching changes, right?
Makes sense.
I know a lot of Packers fans were hoping Matt LaFleur would be a change.
That's dumb.
But that was not one of the changes.
I mean, I think we're kind of waiting to hear if we waiting for the QB coach, and then maybe a change at offensive line or special teams coordinator, something like that.
Special teams coordinator is not changing. I know that for a fact.
One can hope.
We can dream, but yeah. But tune in next time. We'll probably be talking about some coaches, maybe some other draftable players. We'll see what happens, but most likely coaches. That's all, folks. Until next time.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go!